You know, the challenge is you got to rebuild with a lot of new players who will be younger, have new roles, less experience, and how do they respond, you know, to these new roles. And I've been pleased so far with the way our players have embraced the new roles, the new responsibilities. We're going to be a work in progress, and that's going to be critical to our success.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by TruckWorks. I'm Chris Stewart, and Coach, congratulations on a great 49-9 win at Mississippi State.
It was a great win for us. I was really proud of the players, the way they competed in the game. We played for 60 minutes, didn't get affected by the scoreboard. We played the next play. We overcame a lot of adversity. 3 red area stops, you know, in the red area for the defense. Getting turnovers. Being 12 of 16 on 3rd down. I mean, there's a lot of good things in this game. But as I told the players after the game, don't forget how you felt last week. We need to build on this.
For this particular game, those stops early were awfully big and giving you an advantage at intermission.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. But that's how you got to play these guys. I don't know how many called passes they had. I know the stats say they threw it 55. They got sacked 7. He ran a couple times. So they had, you know, probably close to 70 passes called. You can't give up explosive plays, and when the field shrinks in the red zone and they got to pass it and they can't run it, then that's when you got to really tighten up. And our players did a really good job of executing the plan.
Coach, let's take a look at the first half highlights.
Single setback, Johnson. He's to the left of the quarterback. Here's the snap, waist high, looking right, throwing. It is intercepted by Alabama on the far sideline and brought back to the 35-yard line. Great job by Josh Jobe. He saw the play coming, stepped in front of the intended receiver, Polk, and picks up his first interception of the season. It'll be the 8th of the year for Alabama. Bolden backs off into the backfield, joining Robinson there. Here now Bryce with pressure, throws across the middle. Mechie wide open, breaks a tackle. 30 down the near side with Bolden blocking to the 10. He'll cut inside a tackler, and he's in for the touchdown. John Mechie, 46 yards. Great blocking. Nice body work inside tacklers, and Alabama takes the 6-0 lead on their first possession of the ball game. It'll be a 44-yard attempt for Rees. First one from this distance this season. Kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. So Brandon Rees puts Mississippi State on the board. And it's now a 7-3 Alabama lead. From the 25, 1st and 10. Rodgers throws, looks near side, hold up, intercepted Alabama. Pulled down by Jordan Battle down the right sideline. He's going to go to the goal line. Does he step out of bounds? No, he's in for a touchdown. Jordan Battle, the 2nd interception of the day for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Bama's now on top. 14-13-3 with the extra point to come. Everybody comes up to the line of scrimmage, and here comes the pressure, and down goes Rodgers. Christian Harris. My goodness, they teed off on him. Robbie Oots is the up man for Robinson in the eye. Here's the give. Robinson cuts left. He walks it in. Touchdown, Alabama. A 1-yard plunge behind Robbie Oots, Darian Dalcourt, and Javian Cohen. And Alabama stretches the lead to 20-3. 2 wides left, 2 to the right side, including the big man Williams. Single running back, he deploys. Pressure up the middle. Down he goes. Will Anderson, sack number 3 of the night for the Alabama Crimson Tide. A 28-yard try for Rees. The holder is Tucker Day. Between the hash marks, high snap, they get it down, kick is on the way, it is up, and it is good. So a 28-yard field goal for Brandon Rees.
21-6 the score at halftime, Coach, as your team, as we talked about, turnovers really helping set the tempo.
I think two things, turnovers and then 2 times in the red zone, holding them to field goals, especially right before the half. The momentum of the game would have shifted dramatically if they'd have scored a touchdown right before the half and they'd scored 21-10. So it was a really big stop for us.
We got more coming up. Stay with us right here on the Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better.
Coach, this is the part of the show where you always tell us what your message is, but it looked like your team sent a message on the first drive of the second half.
Well, that's true, but the message was pretty much the same. We wanted to play for 60 minutes. We didn't want to look at the scoreboard. We wanted to keep focusing on the next play, try to dominate your guy, your box for 60 minutes in the game, which we have not done all year long. So the message was the same. No scoreboard, let's go dominate. And we came out and scored on the big play in the first play of the second half.
That'll be among the highlights we see next on the Nick Saban Show.
Here's Alabama now starting 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Wide outs either way. Play action fake. Rice rolls right and throws. Complete Williams. Jamison midfield 50. Near sideline 40. Down the left sideline 30. Down the left sideline 20. And he's all the way in for a touchdown. That'll be 75 yards. Well, that didn't take long. Bama's on top 28-6 now. Off the far hash mark. Hayes Hammond snaps it. Bit of a high snap. They get it down, and Rees will convert. So another 3 points for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, but Alabama has the big lead. It's 28-9. Williams, the wide receiver from the near side, goes across the formation to the left. Quarterback looks right, and looks down. Henry To'o sacks him. It's the 4th sack of the night for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bulldogs 40% in 3rd down conversions today. They clap the hands. Standing in is Rodgers. Going down is Rodgers. It'll be the 5th sack of the night. Will Anderson on the low side and many a teammate on the high side. Running back to the left side of the quarterback. That's Robinson. Looks at his quarterback. Bryce claps his hands. Gets the snap. Pressure off the edge. They throw. Robinson near side. Cuts to the middle of the field. See ya. Bye-bye. Brian Robinson. Touchdown, Alabama. 51 yards. What a beautiful play. Second and goal from the 3. Robinson in the pistol formation behind Bryce, who gets the snap, hands off Robinson. He runs up on the back of the Boygby and then carries it, or Ekiyor, I should say, and then carries it in for a touchdown. And Alabama's lead is now 41-9. On the 3rd and 7 from the 30, looking left, throwing across the middle, catch is made, head of steam, angling to the right side, loose and in for a touchdown. Trayshawn Holden. It is going to be a 29-yard touchdown, his first touchdown as a member of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bryce Young to Trayshawn Holden. He's lined up to the left of his quarterback. 3 wide to the far side, 1 to the near side. He looks to near side, throwing it up for grabs, intercepted by Alabama in the end zone. It's coming out, Jordan Battle. Battle up the near side, 25-30, and he's taken down yet another Alabama interception. Another interception for Jordan Battle, and Bama's just wrapping this one up.
Coach, we talk a lot about how it's tough to make history at Alabama. Will Anderson came close to matching history. First time the Tides had 4 sacks by one player in a ball game since Derek Thomas did it.
Wow. Well, that's pretty
Good
high
company.
cut there. Yeah. So, but Will's played great for us. He's really stepped up as a leader, made a lot of great plays for us tonight. And even when he didn't sack the quarterback, he affected him a lot, which I think is just as important. So, really proud of the way the guys played for 60 minutes. This is the way you're supposed to play on the road. You know, you dominate, take the crowd out of it, and there's no issue with playing on the road when you do that. Because the field's always 53 yards wide and 100 yards deep wherever you play.
And the Tides scored 49 points on that field tonight and held Mississippi State to just 9. Stay with us, we got more coming up right here on the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you. And by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.
Coach, what was the turning point for you in this one?
Well, I think the 2 interceptions in the first half, probably the biggest of the 2, obviously, is Battles, which he took back for a touchdown. But that made the score 14-3. Josh Job's interception actually stopped the drive. And those are the kind of things you got to do against this kind of offense. You got to be able to get turnovers and you got to stop people in the red area. But intercepted one and scoring on defense was probably the biggest point in the game.
A lot of things in the game have changed over the years. I'm going to guess there was no such thing as director of sports performance when you were getting started, but you've got one now, and he's the best around in David Ballou.
Well, they've changed the name of these guys from strength coaches to exercise scientists to whatever that title is. But I'm telling you, David does a fantastic job with our players. Our players really respond well to him. We changed the whole way, as when we talked about Dr. Ray, how we approach conditioning, how we approach training, how we get the guys ready to play with flexibility. And David Ballou has done a fantastic job of adding so much to the program from a sports science standpoint, and I think it's really helped our players maintain their conditioning level and sustain the season. It helped us last year and it's helped us this year.
Coach, let's go Mercedes-Benz All Access with David Ballou.
A lot of time in this business, the strength coach and the sports scientist knock heads, because the strength coach has one way he wants to do things and the sports scientist has another way he wants to do things because of data and it's taking him a different direction. We both think the same way. I think of myself as a sports scientist just as much as I do a strength coach. When you use the word performance, that's what it should mean. You're not just a strength coach. The sports science is a huge part of it. And so the data that we collect is not just hood ornaments. It's not just thrown on the screen. It's not just printed out on a paper to show somebody. We are taking those numbers and making daily adjustments to every guy. And over the long term, we firmly believe, and our past history has shown, it's being able to decrease the non-contact soft tissue issues that places have had before.
Do it all the right way. Get your body loose. Take care of your body.
Our job is to maximize whatever their genetic potential is. So what we're going to do is put every resource that we have into them as a player individually to make sure we're optimizing every ounce of genetic potential they have. If we're able to do that, then they're going to be able to increase their value over time in terms of a football player and from a physical perspective, which is going to help them. But that's our job. Our job is to maximize genetic potential. And that's why we spend so much time looking at data, looking at analytics, and looking at all the different things that we look at to drive programming and to drive what we do on a day-to-day basis so we can maximize what they're capable of. Because there's guys that don't. There's plenty of guys that go places they don't get developed. And when you go somewhere and you see those things, all of a sudden you just don't hear about a guy anymore. There's reasons for that, you know, and there's reasons that happen.
On the right side, straight leg race series 5.
We track power and everything. And, you know, we track, it's called peak power, and it's measuring explosive capabilities in many different exercises and joint angles. And what we've seen here is anywhere from a 30 to a 40% increase in those levels, the above average and elite. And we keep seeing those numbers increase. And what it tells us is the more guys and the more numbers that we have in those two categories, the deeper our team is, the more guys we're going to be able to put on a field on Saturday that are an elite physical level to be able to go perform physically at that stage.
A little bit higher, increase range of motion.
Having the facilities and the resources here, you know, everything that we've asked for here that we know we need to be successful, we have been able to get. And that shows the administration being obviously supportive, the football coach obviously being supportive. It's exactly why we came here, because those are the kind of places you go and you can maximize your program and your philosophy and the things you want to do for the player, because it's all about the player. How can you put the best product forward for the player to help maximize their potential? And you can't do that without great resources and facilities, and that's what we have here.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works.
Coach, love our player features each week. Get a chance to hear you talk about different guys and then hear from them. This week it's LeBron Ray.
Well, LeBron Ray is a guy that I'm really proud of because he's probably had to overcome more adversity here through injuries, tough rehabs, always staying focused, always staying on task, and finally in the last 2 or 3 games he's been healthy and playing really well for us, and I think this is going to be a great benefit to us, and it'll create value for him in his future too. But he's really overcome a lot, and you always admire somebody who has to go through so much and they stick with it and have great perseverance, and LeBron Ray has certainly done that.
Let's learn a little bit more about LeBron Ray.
LeBron Ray, from Madison, Alabama, and I played defensive line. I chose to come to Alabama because first, growing up as a kid, you know, in the state of Alabama, you would hear about it a lot, and then even when I started to love it, and then you end up watching it, you know, the way that Alabama carried themselves, and like it was just different from any other program I learned at an early age. You know, seeing that, I think, you know, you want to be a part of a team that's special and, you know, different. Coach Saban, along with the other coaches, have done an outstanding job for me, whether that's on the field, you know, teaching me the certain technique on what, you know, so when it comes to Saturday, I'm ready, and making me learn certain things so I can grow as a man, really. I think that's just as important as, you know, the football player wise. So they've done an outstanding job, and I'm very grateful to have them. Definitely, I have some favorite moments. I think my all-time favorite would be coming in as a freshman and being able to play on that team, being able to be a part of the 2017 that won it. That was a great year, and that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. What I would like to say to the fans is that, you know, I'm thankful personally just for, you know, y'all coming out, y'all, you know, spending y'all time, deciding to spend y'all time with us. I mean, that's something that we don't take for granted at all. No game, whether it could be the biggest game or, you know, not, to come out Saturday and you see a scene like we're used to seeing every Saturday. We truly are grateful for y'all coming, because that's kind of what makes the game the game. You know, if they didn't choose to be a part of it, I mean, it wouldn't be as special as it is. So I think, you know, just I'm grateful for y'all coming out and y'all spending y'all time with us.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you.
Coach, homecoming is always special. As we take a look at what's next, so too is the opponent for the Tide in Tennessee Vols.
Yeah, well, it means a lot to a lot of people. The tradition that we have of playing Tennessee as a rivalry, it means a lot to our players. It means a lot that people have homecoming, which is an opportunity for them to come back and renew a lot of memories and things that happened when they were in college. But Tennessee's a much improved team. They're really playing well. They're scoring a lot of points. Their team is playing really hard. So this is going to be a really challenging game, and we need to take care of our business and build on what we did here today and try to continue to improve so that we can sort of show the progress that we need to make as a team. I think we're learning lessons all the time. I think we learned a lesson today, what we're capable of if we play for 60 minutes.
Thank you for the time. Congratulations again on the win over Mississippi State, and we look forward to seeing you next time right here on The Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better. By the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works.